Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to the Pet Show. Are you being stalked by your Siamese kitten? Does your French bulldog seem a bit fearful? Is your basset hound behaving a little bratty? Well, if you love your dogs and cats, I'm assuming you do, and you want to really understand their behavior almost as well as they understand yours, or maybe you're confused about why your dogs or cats behave a certain way, you know what to do, right? Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle, pet whatever you want to say show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. It is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergrowing Pet Show family, if you have questions or comments you want to share about your dog or cat's behavior, your dog may be jumping, humping, digging, cat scratching, not using a litter box, hates the new cat in the house, take your dog for a walk, turns into Cujo the minute he sees another dog. Get the idea. That's what we do here on the show. We help people resolve any issues they may be having with their dog or cat. And as I say every week, any issues their dog or cat may be having with the people, which is probably a lot more common. Plenty of time for your calls on the show today. Lots of great stuff to give away. I got some new stuff I'm giving away on the show as well, besides Lucy pet food, doggy lickies, hugs and kisses, air horns, stuff for your dog's hips and joints. I got a great new mouth. If your dog has bad breath, boy, do I have something for you. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I'll be giving some doggy mouthwash away, and I'll be giving some interesting products away, too. If you have a dog or cat that may be a little excited, I have these new little discs that have aromatherapy discs, and they make a real big difference. I'll be giving some of those away as well. Of course, I'll be giving away hugs and kisses and so much more. So if you have a question or comment about your dog or cat's behavior, great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870 KRLA. That's 866-870-5752, 866-870 KRLA. That is the way to get to it. By the way, a lot of the gifts I give away, I don't talk about that enough. You know, we're not giving away biscuits here. Many of the items I'm giving away on the show are $20, $30, $40, even $50. So if you do have a question or comment or want to share a great story about a dog or cat, I always try to get people to share stories about dogs or cats they've rescued, because it encourages other people to go out and do exactly the same thing. So if you've recently rescued or in the past rescued a dog or cat that turned out to be the most incredible buddy you ever had, give me a call. I'll still send you a gift. 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. That is the way to get through. As I said, plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away on the show today. Broadcasting from beautiful Arizona, where it's got a lot of cooler now. Yeah, it's actually, I got a long sleeve shirt on today. Pretty unusual over the past couple of months. Anyway, busy show today. But you know that your questions and your comments are always my priority. But here are some of the topics I want to go over today. Some of them are kind of a little eccentric. Imagine an eccentric topic on my show. How could that possibly be? For all my feline fanatics out there, I know you're tired, sick and tired of being told that dogs are more affectionate than your cats and that cats are more aloof. Well, if you do have an aloof cat, take it from me, it's not your cat's fault. It may be yours. I'll explain coming up a little bit later. Also coming up, and I am such a stickler on this. People actually call me crazy. People in my profession say, hey, Warren, get out of here. You're making us nuts. Listen to me. Why is it so important to let your dogs make some choices for themselves? It's called agency, and it could really help with their overall behavior and psychological welfare. So maybe you need to get off your dog's back a little bit and let them decide what they want to do. Big deal. They want to dig a hole? Let them dig a hole. That's what I say. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on the show. And these are the things that keep me up at night. It's not the economy. The things that keep me up at night are things like this. What is fire hydrant syndrome? You got that. I said it. Fire hydrant syndrome. What is it? Should you worry? Or is it perfectly normal for dogs to pee on every fire hydrant that they see? Maybe years ago I couldn't say pee on the air, but now I can. Boy, the times they are changing. As always, plenty of time to answer all of your pet and animal questions. By the way, we're also going to take a look at what to expect from your puppies when they become teenagers. Just like kids when they become teenagers, they can be a little bit more difficult. We'll talk about that if we have time as well. Plenty of time for your questions and comments. Lots of great stuff to give away. So if your pet is jumping, humping, digging, chewing, scratching, confused about the litter box, not housebroken, you get the idea. Give me a call, 866-870 KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. The question of the day, I think I've done this in the past before, but my cat people, you don't call me enough with this. What is or who is or what is more affectionate, dogs or cats? Are dogs more affectionate than cats? Are cats more affectionate than dogs? I would say that maybe dog people. I have no cats at the moment. I just have dogs at the moment. I've had 30 cats at a time. I think dog people are a little bit more braggy. Yeah, a little bit more braggy, a little bit more apt to brag about their dog. My dog learned how to sit today. Well, my cat had a meal and jumped on the counter. What do you think? More affectionate dogs or cats? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through to the Pet Show. You know what? The phones are already starting to get really, really, really busy. So let me take a call right off the bat. We're going to go to beautiful Temecula. I love Temecula, one of my favorite places. The Temecula Balloon Festival and Temecula Wine Country. So let's go to Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Welcome to the show.
Hey, hi, Warren. How you doing?
I am doing pretty darn well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well.
You made me use a word that I never used. I don't know. The last time I said darn. I don't remember the last time darn was in my vocabulary. So thank you for that, Sandra. What can I do for you?
Well, I have a problem with my 22-month-old female standard poodle. Her name is Joy. I've called in about her before. Wednesday night, we were in an obedience class. It's open field type situation. Of course, the field is fenced in, and it was near the end of class. We were working on our long lines, and I did what I was supposed to, and then I noticed my shoe was untied, so I bent down to untie it. And another handler brought her dog very, very close to me. And Joy was in a sit, and she went behind me and lunged at the dog and started barking. Well, that pulled me over. I did a somersault, and my concern, she was on a long line. My concern was she didn't go any farther, and I grabbed her harness.
Where was the instructor?
The instructor had her back to me. An assistant instructor saw the incident and ran over to see if I was all right. I mean, I made the biggest scene ever.
Yeah.
The handler and the dog, I never even saw the dog. They broadsided us.
Okay, so in other words, your question to me is that you were in an obedience class. There was an instructor and an assistant instructor. You had your dog in a sit position. Another dog approached your dog, and your dog lunged at him, knocking you over.
Yes.
So that's what I'm gathering.
How can what?
No, I'm just trying to repeat what you were telling me.
Oh, yeah. How can I better handle it? The instructor told me, well, my dog is opportunistic. She waited till I wasn't paying attention to her and then acted up.
Well, maybe your instructor's a little optimistic. Listen, I don't want to sound egotistical, but I was the head instructor for the YMCA, and on any given Thursday night, I'd be working with 100 dogs in a group class, and I had some of my trainers there. Obviously, I can't handle 100 dogs myself. Right. A good instructor anticipates this type of problem. So in other words, what I'm saying here is that when your dog was in a sit-stay, you were paying attention to the dog, correct?
Right. Well, I was, and then I knelt down to tie my shoes, so I was looking at my...
Okay, but see, when you knelt down, that triggered a reaction in your dog. It's not an opportunity that took place here. The dog was being a little aggressive because you were in a different position. Maybe he was being possessive over you. Let me tell you something about standard poodles, and I told you this before. When I was doing Schutzhund training in Europe, you cannot compare the intelligence. The standard poodle, by far, as far as I'm concerned, one of the smartest breeds out there. So very often, they're totally aware of everything that's going on around them. When you, as the guardian, bent down to tie your shoe, that was a trigger response, not an opportunity response, a trigger response for the dog. Too close the other dog might have been, the dog lunging at the other dog to protect you. Now, here's my big question. Has this happened before, or is this a one-time thing?
Unfortunately, no. It's happened 3 or 4 times.
Okay, so then what is the what is the trainer doing to stop it?
Nothing.
Well, then why are you going there?
Nothing. I'm thinking if I'm going to do something that puts me in a vulnerable position, maybe I better withdraw from the activity of the class, go over in a corner, and take care of it.
That's not a resolution. Stop. That's not a resolution, okay? A resolution is resolving a problem. You have a situation with a dog that was being protective over you. As an instructor should have done, or what I would have done, is I would have taken your dog with you. I would have practiced the sit-stay again. Then I would have had other dogs walking by. Then I would say to you, listen, practice going up and down at home when you're working with the dog, so it's not something new to him, not something that's going to trigger a response on his part. So the trainer here, or the instructor here, not knocking him, but what a trainer or instructor needs to do is take into consideration or anticipate a specific behavior on a dog and work on that behavior till it's resolved. So in other words, if I have a dog that chases other dogs when it goes for a walk, I'm not going to train the dog in the backyard. I'm going to train the dog around another dog. You were around other dogs. The trainer should have taken you aside, re-instructed you on a sit-stay, whatever you were doing, and then practice with you, and then he should have handled the dog and had other dogs walking by to gain the control over your dog, because right now, your dog won.
True. It surprises me, Warren, because last month we took the community canine test and passed.
And the canine citizenship test is real important, but again, you know, so many people do this, and the dog is like Rin Tin Tin when the 11 o'clock news comes on. The dog is perfect when I'm training the dog. This is a different situation, okay? The dog reacted, not overreaction. The dog reacted. You knelt down, put yourself in a vulnerable position. The dog, being a working breed of dog, is going to be a little bit more protective when he sees you change your position. That's all that happened here.
Gotcha.
So rather than overreact to it, what I would have done as your instructor is said, listen, let me have the dog for a few minutes. Let me work with him around other dogs, calm him down a little bit, then handed him back to you, watched you work with the dog. If the dog didn't respond, I would do it again till we got the dog responding the way he had to respond around you. And then I would have had you go home and practice kneeling up and down with the dog so he doesn't see that as something that's assertive or aggressive on your part or someone else's part. It's not a difficult problem. I think what you need to do is perhaps have some private lessons with an instructor that's going to work with you so the dog really knows what he's doing, but not only when there's no distractions, but when there are distractions. That's when a dog has to respond.
Okay.
All right, so do I have to come to Temecula?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Sandra. I said, do I have to come to Temecula and train the dog for you?
That would be a dream come true.
Yeah, it would be a dream come true for me. Anyway, listen, I got to move on, but I'm not going to send you something. I know I send you something. I want you to work with either that instructor or another instructor. Let them get nice, really good response when there's no distractions and start gradually adding distractions to the dog. Little by little, he will come around, I promise. Give me a call back and let me know. I got to move on. Give me a call back in a couple of weeks and let me know how you're doing. This is not against an instructor. If he's running a group class, he's got a lot of things going on, but if he has a certain behavior with a certain dog, you need to stop at that point and resolve that. Let me take a quick break before Alex throws something at me. You know, every week, for years now, you hear me talk about on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. Lots of great stuff to give away. Hugs and kisses, Lucy pet food, doggy lickies, copies of my best-selling book, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath, air horns, T-shirts, all natural herbal flea spray, and some calming products from my good friends over at acornpetproducts.com. So lots of stuff to give away. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. So I was speaking to a friend of mine this week actually going back and forth on the computer. And he's a pretty religious guy. And we'd always occasionally we'll talk about the way animals are kind of portrayed in religion. And he said, you probably don't know this, Warren, but according to a Hebrew legend, God created cats after Noah prayed for help in protecting the food stores on the ark from being eaten by rats. In return, God made a lion sneeze, and out came a pair of cats. So there you go. There you go. Whatever you say about cats, God put him here. Anyway, let's get back to the busy phone lines here. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Coming up, we're going to talk about whether or not cats are more aloof than dogs. And this is so important to me. It really makes me crazy to watch people out there constantly telling their dogs, do this, do that, sit, stay, roll over, speak 3 languages, bark, sing a chorus of this. No. Every once in a while, you got to let your dogs make a choice. I let Molly and Willie make choices all the time. You want to go into bed, you want to go on the couch, you want to go over there, you want to go over there. You got to let your dog make choices all the time. Otherwise, life is really boring. Give me a call. Let me know if you let your dog make choices. 866-870-KRLA. But right now, let's go to John, and then we'll go to Sandy. John in Sherman Oaks. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren.
How are you today, John?
Every day on my walk, I go by this cat, and it's always outside. And the lady happened to be out there one day, and I said, "Is that your cat?" She says, "No, it was left behind by another neighbor. She has a cat, so she made a dog carrier with a blanket in it, and that's where the cat sleeps. The cat's not real friendly, and she could go put the food out, and the cat will follow her. But I've tried to get close to the cat. I'll talk to it from the street, and then I'll move up about 10 feet and keep talking to it. And it looks at me, and it's blinking its eyes, and so I walk a little closer, and I can get within about 5 feet, and then she'll get up and run.
Yeah.
And if we're able to catch that cat and bring it home, I don't know whether it'd be a good idea to bring it in the house first, or maybe leave it outside and use her a dog carrier.
Let's go over. Listen, bringing the cat in the house is the way to go. The lifespan of an indoor cat is 13 to 14 years. The lifespan of an outdoor cat is 3 to 5. The first thing I'm going to recommend that you do is let the cat get used to your scent. When you go to her, leave one of your shirts out there where she's being fed. So she's associating your scent with something very positive, like getting a meal. That's number one. Then number two, I would start moving the food, the way she's being fed, closer and closer to your home. How far is your home from where the cat is?
About 3 blocks.
Oh, that's a good distance. You may have to approach it a little bit differently. You may have to approach it in terms of working with one of the TNR people in your area, so you can trap the cat, bring the cat into your home. There's a lot of changes you need to make when you get the cat home. For example, the litter box you put down, don't put litter in it, put dirt and grass in it from outside. That's what the cat's used to going on. Cardboard boxes, paper bags all over the place. Giving the cat a lot of things to do. I'm going to send you a copy of the cat book, but I think at this point, what I would do is leave your scent there where the cat is being fed. Let it get really familiar with your scent. I would speak to some of the TNR people in your area. Let's trap the cat, get her vaccinated, spayed or neutered, whatever has to be done, and get her into your home. That's where she should be living that happily ever after life that she deserves.
Well, a friend of mine did that a couple of years ago, and the cat just ran under a bed. And it wouldn't even come out during the day.
Well, that's because he let the cat. No. That's because he let the cat do that. If it was a puppy and the puppy ran under the bed, he'd go get the puppy and bring the puppy out, right? Because that's what puppies do. But if the cat runs under the bed, people just assume that's a cat. That's what they do, and they don't take the time to socialize them. The most important thing, God bless my book, and I want to blow my own horn. The reason I wrote How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want was simply because cats were so misunderstood. They can be socialized. They can be calmed down. It just takes some time, some patience, and a glass or two of Chardonnay. But it can be done. So your friend let the cat stay there. So the more the cat stayed under the bed, the more the cat felt it needed to stay under the bed. There are other things that could have been. I would have shoved clothing with my scent on it under the bed for the cat. I would have started feeding the cat out of several dishes under the bed for the cat. All of that can make a big difference for you. So here's what, bless you for doing this, by the way. It's definitely the right thing to do. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up. I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your cat to do what you want. That will let you know everything you need to do when the cat comes into the house. Now, the biggest mistake people make is they bring a cat into their home. They want the cat to use a litter box. Of course we want the cat to use a litter box. But cats that have been outside most of their lives have no idea what a litter box or litter should be done, what it should be used for. So when you bring a cat in from the outdoors and they've never used a litter box, you put dirt and grass from outside. If you can put dirt and grass from outside where the cat was hanging out, that's better. And then little by little, start adding a little bit of litter, take out a little bit of dirt, and you can make that transition over a period of time. But bless you for doing that. You know, so many times cats are totally misunderstood. And we're going to talk more about that later. You know, my cat's aloof. My cat won't come when I call him. My cat runs away when people come over. What you put in is what you get out. In the cat book, some of the most important chapters are building up your cat's self-confidence, building up your cat's self-esteem, and the socialization of cats. So many people don't socialize their cats, and then they don't understand why their cats are running away when people come over. Hey, great time to give me a call. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a break. When we come back, I'm going to stick with cats for a minute. Then we're going to talk about agency. What is agency? Just think about this. Think about you're sleeping, but your dog wants to play, and your dog wakes you up and won't leave you alone till you play with him. What do? Do you get up and play with your dog, or do you stay in bed? We'll talk about that when we come back. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. If you want to send me a question on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. And come on, I want to hear from both sides, cat and dog people. Tell me, when it comes to being affectionate, are dogs more affectionate than cats? Are cats more affectionate than dogs? Or is what you put in what you get out? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call. Some of my rescues out there that rescue dogs and cats, I'd love to get your take on this as well. 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Quick break, then back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Stein. Great time to give me a call. Got a question or comment about your dog or cat? Everyone who calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a fabulous gift. Don't get excited. It's not for you, that beautiful dog or cat that's looking up at you as we speak. The question of the day is, when it comes to being affectionate, are dogs more affectionate to cats or vice versa? Or any other question, you have a dog that's chasing other dogs, a cat that's not using a litter box, doesn't get along. Great time to give me a call. Lots of great stuff to give away. Lucy Pet Food, Hugs and Kisses, dog and cat books. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I want to hear from some people that rescued some dogs and cats recently, because the shelters are inundated, which is going to lead me to my next call, which is going to be Sandy in Garden Grove. Hey, Sandy, welcome to the show.
Hi. I am a retired rescuer. That's why I've got 6 cats and 3 dogs. But I'm calling because someone called in the other day on our talk show and said that there's at least 40 dogs and about 30 cats out there at Salton Sea. There's no food and water for them, and the dogs are like eating the cats. It's just horrible. And I'm hoping that a bunch of rescues would get together in caravan out there and rescue those animals, and then they could divide them up among the shelters.
So what you need to do is, I don't mind giving out information, but you need to have a local place or somewhere where people can call up, find out where the dogs and cats are, and then organize a group to go out there. But they need to contact someone. Could that be you?
Well, I guess it could be for now until I find out a little bit more.
Why don't you find out a little? Well, you could find. Why don't you do this? Why don't you find out a little bit more? Because this is the first I'm hearing of it. And I know the Salton area.
Yeah.
So why don't you find out a little bit more? Send me an email. Here's my email address, mail@thepetshow.com. Mail@thepetshow.com. Send me an email there telling me a little bit more, and then maybe next week we can talk about it on the show, or perhaps give me your information and I'll post it maybe on Facebook or Instagram, and this way maybe some rescuers out there will join in and help you. And God bless you for wanting to do this. But these are those situations that drive me crazy, because there's always so many more that need to be rescued than there are people able to rescue them. But anytime we can hear about a situation that can be helped, I'm glad to do it. So send me an email at mail@thepetshow.com, mail@thepetshow.com. In the meantime, I'm putting you on hold, and I am sending you for all your pets. I am going to send you, I'm going to send you some Lucy pet food for your dogs, okay? On its way to you, and I appreciate that phone call. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. You know, I actually wrote my cat book before I wrote my dog book. Now, my cat book was written by myself and my first wife, Faye, before she crossed over. And we had been working with so many cats. I want to share this with you. Then I want to get your take on what I'm saying here. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Or should I be put away for a long period of time? Listen to me carefully. Anyone owned by a cat will tell you what amazing companions and friends they are. Studies show that cats have been found to prefer human interactions to food, toys, and scents. Let me say that again. Cats have been found to prefer human interactions to food, toys, and scents. Human attention makes a difference to cats. A study published in a journal called Behavioral Processes, probably don't read it, but I do, found that when a person paid attention to a cat, the cat responded by spending more time with that person. How about my cat people out there? When you adopted a cat, maybe the cat was a little shy, maybe the cat was a little timid. You spent more time with the cat, and the cat came around. If you've adopted a cat, give me a call. 866-870-5752. I want you to share that with other people out there, because as we know right now, the shelters are full. They're full of rescued dogs. They're full of cats, and it's just unbelievable. And a lot of people just assume that a cat on the streets, or a feral cat, or a cat at a shelter comes with issues. No. Yeah, maybe there's an issue here or there, but they can be resolved. So does anyone agree or disagree with me? I want to hear from you. Let me know. Do you believe, like I do, that cats are just as affectionate, if not more affectionate, than dogs? The problem is, like I said before, people just assume cats are aloof, and therefore they don't work with them the same way, or hang with them the same way they work with dogs. You know, I talked about this before. You know, and I said this to the gentleman that called earlier. When a person let's say you get a puppy and adopt a puppy and a kitten at the same time. Bless you for doing that, by the way. And you have people come over. And the puppy's there, and the kitten runs under the bed, and the puppy runs under the bed. But then you go get the puppy and bring him out. But you say, the kitten's going to stay there. That's what cats do. How many times I've heard that, and how wrong that is. Cats love socialization. They love to be talked to. They love to be played with. They love to be held. Of course, it may be on their terms sometimes, but they really, really adore doing that. And it's interesting, and this behavioral process is an interesting group, and they do a lot of really deep studies. And they really did work here and found that cats actually prefer people over food, over their toys, over smells. And it's so true. The problem is so many cats don't ever have that opportunity. It breaks my heart, because people just don't give them the opportunity to socialize with them the way they should be. And that's really, really important. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I got a couple of open lines, so it's a great time to give me a call. We're going to talk about what to expect. I had a call this week from someone who said, Warren, I had this adorable puppy. I went to this shelter. I adopted this blended breed like you always talk about, and he's the greatest puppy in the world, and he was adorable, and he slept, and he woke up, and he ate, and I took him, and he peed, and he pooped. Everything was just perfect. Then he started reaching those teenage years, which is like maybe 4, 5, 6 months with a dog, and he became a juvenile delinquent. So we're going to talk a little bit about what to expect from your dog when they reach those puppy or teenage years. Anyone out there having a situation where they adopted a puppy and all of a sudden Rin Tin Tin turned into Cujo? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Nobody's answered the question yet. What are you guys afraid? Give me a call. Come on, let me know about this. When it comes to being affectionate, dogs or cats, I've had this argument to the point of almost black eyes with people when they said, "Oh, cats aren't as smart as dogs. I think cats are so smart they convince people that they can't be trained, so we leave them alone." But again, people don't assume the same thing about cats they do about the dogs. They just assume that dogs will do this and cats won't do this, and dogs will do this and cats won't. Nonsense. I told you the story many times about David Letterman saying to me, "Warren, you're crazy." Well, he said to me, "Warren, you're crazy," many times. But the one time Letterman said to me, "You're crazy," is when I said, "Listen, cats can be taught to walk on a leash and a harness. Cats can be taught to come when they're called. Cats can be taught almost everything a dog can be taught to do except bark." And he said, "No, they can't. I said, "You know what, Dave? The next time I'm on the show," I was doing a show like every couple of weeks back then. "The next time you're on the show, I'll show you." Now, my cat, Mowdy, at that point, was a feral cat. I lived on Long Island at the time, a great little town called Oceanside, that jumped on my back door. I had one of those French doors, and there was a ledge there. Jumped on and decided that she wanted to live in this house. I guess it was my vacancy sign that brought her in. And Mowdy was one of those feral cats. You know, she had not been around people, chased by dogs, chased by people, chased by this, chased by that. Spent a few months with Warren, and we fell in love. My lovely wife, Faye at the time, the same thing. And I spent time teaching her to walk on a leash and harness. I spent time teaching her to respond. And I said, "Dave, I'm bringing her on the show." I never had heard another word from Dave about cats not being able to be trained. I did many shows after that. He always kind of said, okay, Warren, you won that battle. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me do this. Let me take a break. When we come back, Arnold will get to you in Compton. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. Come on, guys. Cats more affectionate to dogs. Dogs more affectionate to cats. It doesn't make any difference. Give me a call. Also coming up, a really interesting topic that probably no one's ever heard about. It's called agency. We're going to talk about that when it comes to your dogs. That coming up in just a second. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Next time, great time to give me a call. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Get right back to the phone. It's Arnold, Helene, Daniel. Just give me a second. You know, since I moved out, we have coyotes in Santa Monica, but since I moved to Arizona, it's like they're my neighbors. In fact, I kind of like some of the coyotes more than some of my neighbors. I hope they're not listening. But anyway, here's the bottom line. There are so many coyotes around here. I grabbed Denise the other day and said, "Come on outside, you got to hear this." I thought it was the Armageddon. But every morning I go for a walk like at 4 o'clock, 4:30. It's pitch black out there. And people say, "How can you do that? How can you do that?" And sometimes I'll walk past maybe 2 or 3 coyotes meandering around. And what's amazing to me is they're not aggressive towards me, but they have no fear. They kind of stand there. They look at me. I look at them. They look at me. I look at them. I say, "Hey, how was your morning? Did you have breakfast?" Blah, 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 blah. It's just interesting. And one of my friends had said maybe someone in the neighborhood's feeding them, but I think we're just surrounded by so many open areas. But they're just beautiful. I love them. And I can never figure out to keep the population of coyotes, and I know they do this in parts of Europe with other animals, why don't they trap, spay and neuter? Maybe that would keep the population down. But I got to be telling, they're beautiful. I actually woke one up the other day. He was fast asleep, a coyote, young coyote, maybe 8 months, a year old. Woke him up, said good morning. He looked at me, went back to sleep, and I continued my walk. Hey, Arnold in Compton, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, Warren. Appreciate everything you do.
Well, I appreciate you calling.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I have a 10-year-old shepherd, and her brother passed away just last year across the Rainbow Bridge. And we've never adopted, but we want to this time, and we're ready for another dog. So I know you mentioned to, let them meet in a neutral place. But how do we go about getting a dog at a shelter and properly introducing them to my shepherd?
Okay, one of the things, first of all, I am such a big shepherd fan. You know that. You said your dog's 10 years old. How does he generally get along with other dogs other than the one you lost?
We have doggy dates with the dogs in the neighborhood. She gets along very well with them. But when I take her to the dog park or something, she stays right by my side. She doesn't really interact with them. She's very, protective. And she doesn't really snap or anything. She just doesn't interact well with them at the dog.
So we know that she's a little fearful at the dog park, a little possessive at the dog park. So that's obviously a place you don't want to introduce her. What I would do is I would work with some of the shelters, and I would work with some of the rescue groups. There are certain dogs that they can kind of, maybe this dog was given up for whatever reason, but maybe has a background with other dogs. What I would recommend is you work with them, and a lot of of the shelters now have areas where you can have the dogs kind of meet each other on neutral territory, away from the shelter a little bit, though, because there's a lot of noise there. Once you do that, you have to follow with first pet psychology. Make sure that the dog, the shepherd, that the 10-year-old shepherd you have, thinks that the greatest invention since kibble was this dog coming into the house. More walks, more toys, more treats, inviting people over. Everyone that comes over wants to see the new dog, but they got to stop and play with the old dog. Separate time and equal time. And whatever dog you adopt, just give that dog the opportunity to decompress a little bit. Doesn't sound to me like you're going to have a problem. Just not the dog park right now. I think the dog, when she's around a lot of other dogs, may be more protective of you. But if you introduce her one-on-one on neutral territory, that should make all the difference in the world for you.
Okay, so there are shelters where I can let them meet in a neutral area, not at the actual shelter?
Well, the shelter might have a separate area, kind of a little bit away from where the noise is, where you can meet. Okay. Yes, yeah, and just make sure. And if you're not comfortable with that, there's some great rescue groups. I mean, I'd rather you go to a shelter, but there are some great rescue groups out there and a lot of shelters have behaviorists and trainers working with them, which can guide you a little bit as well. But I think it's a great idea to introduce. How long ago did you say the other dog passed?
About a year ago.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. I know you're ready for another dog. I want to make sure your dog is ready for another dog. That's the way to do it. Right. I'm going to send you a copy of the book, How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. Here's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on the chapter First Pet Psychology. By the way, if you go to my website, thepetshow.com, if you go to God, Warren, where are you going? If you go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, there's some great articles there specifically on first pet psychology. So many times, and it breaks my heart, people will adopt a dog, bring it home, they don't get along right away, so they bring that dog back, which just makes it worse for that dog. So you want to make the commitment, you want to find that perfect dog. That's why you want to work with someone that knows a little bit about first pet psychology, or at least a shelter that's had a lot of experience with introducing one dog to another. You should be right on target. And bless you for doing that. You got to make me a promise. You got to promise me you'll call me back when they're sleeping whisker to whisker.
I sure will, brother. Thank you so much.
Give them don't go in. I'm going to put you on hold. The lovely Suzette's going to pick up. We're going to send you a copy of How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. Let me take a break. Then we'll get back to Helene and Daniel. Do have a line open, 866-870-KRLA. Can I brag a little bit about the bees? Nothing about the flowers, nothing about the trees. But when it comes to your dogs and cats, I can help you out. Hey, listen, we're going to break for the top of the hour. Helene, my friend in New Jersey, let me make you feel at home. Yo, don't go anywhere. We'll get to you. Call me, come back. Daniel in Oxnard, I want to talk to you as well. Just let me give out this number again. I want to give out this number, 833-2-TROOPS, the number 2-TROOPS, 833-2-TROOPS. Having spent a fair amount of time overseas, let me tell you, there's nothing more exciting for a soldier, a sailor, an airman, a Marine to receive than a package from home. I'm Hebrew, Jewish, right? I used to get a kosher salami mailed to me by my uncle when I was overseas in Asia. And I got to tell you, when that kosher salami came, man, I was a general. I was the hit of everyone there. So if you can, make a donation, 833-2-TROOPS, the number 2-TROOPS, 833-2-TROOPS. That's 833-287. I think that's, I can't read it here. 6677. So check it out. Come on, make a donation. Put a smile on some of these guys' faces. Super time. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, plenty of time for your calls. We'll get to you, Helene and Daniel, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break on Warren Eckstein. And yes, you are listening to The Pet Show. An hour of The Pet Show. I am Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. If you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat and want to find out why they're jumping, humping, digging, scratching, not using the litter box, don't get along with your neighbor's dog, or digging your backyard up, give me a call. Everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a great gift for their dog or cat. Many of the items I give away are worth $25, $35, $45, even $50. So if you have a question or a comment, or just want to brag about your dog or cat, or tell a story about an amazing dog or cat you have, give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. 866-870-5752. The question of the day when it comes to being affectionate, what's more affectionate, dogs or cats? Now, I'm going to get to you, Helene and Daniel, in just a second, I promise. I got two really important topics. I'm going to try to get to this hour if I can. Number one is, these are the things that keep me up at night. Now, you may not think about this, but everyone always jokes and laughs about fire hydrants and dogs. house. So I am going to tell you today exactly why your dogs are so infatuated with fire hydrants. It may not be what you think, but I remember almost every TV show I did, whether it be a Letterman, the Today, whatever show I did, whenever I was bringing dogs on, I'd always have a fake fire hydrant there. And of course, I would give the dogs waters, hoping they'd pee, and most of the time they did. But why do they find fire hydrants so important? We're going to talk about that coming up. And also, agency. Agency, from my perspective, one of the most important things for pet guardians, especially dog guardians, to understand. Agency is a term that's used in the context of dogs and refers to the ability of your dogs to make choices based on their preferences, not necessarily yours. So we'll take a look at those two topics. If you have a question in the meantime, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I got some Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath to give away on this show today. Great product. I got some calming discs to calm your dog or cat down with some aromatherapy. Big difference I've seen. So plenty of hugs and kisses, Lucy Pet Food. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. 866-870-5752. The way to get through. Let's go to my friend Helene from the great state. I'm laughing, Helene. From the great state of Jersey. Hey, Helene. Welcome to the show.
It my New Jersey, Warren.
I love you. You know I love New Jersey. Come on. I spent half my life in Hackensack.
Thank you for having me, Warren. I've spoken to you more than any other celebrity. But I'm calling to tell the audience that First Pet Psychology really works. And I have two quick, amazing little stories. My Maggie is 19 now. I called you years ago because my Sammy was harassing her. And your advice about First Pet Psychology really works. I want everyone to know it requires patience and time, but it really works. Sammy is now over the Rainbow Bridge. We just lost him a few years ago. But my buddy, who is now 11 years old, they're all cats. When he first came into the family, he went up to Maggie and he tried to kiss her, and she hissed at him. But every day he tried to kiss her, and every day she hissed at him. Until one day, she kissed her. She kissed him back.
There you go. There you go.
And then she hissed at him.
Sounds like one of my dates in high school. I'm telling you, it sounds like one of my dates in high school. It's so true, Helene. You're hitting the nail on the head. It takes patience. It takes a little time for them to decompress, to get adjusted to each other. I always joke, how would you feel if all of a sudden another woman or another man moved into your house, slept in your bed, ate your food, used your makeup, used your whatever? So it's real important that people understand that you got to give them some time, and that First Pet Psychology can make all the difference in the world. So you have just the one cat now?
I am down to 3. Because I am at the age where after they go, I'm either going to get an old dog or I'm going to foster.
I got to move on, but I adore you already. I mean, you just keep calling me. You said you call me more than anybody else. You keep calling me, okay?
I've been calling you for 20 years.
I know. You called me when I was still a kid. And listen, Helene, I got to move on. I'm trying to think what I want to send you.
I know.
I'm going to put you on hold. Don't go anywhere. I'm putting you on hold, and I am going to send you. You know what? I'm going to send you some Puppy Fresh Breath for your 11-year-old dog. He doesn't have to spit and gargle, okay? Just put some in his water. It'll make all the difference, making him even more kissable than he already is. Daniel, let me get to you in a minute, Daniel. I know you've been home for a long time, but let me get to you in a minute because I want to talk about this, okay? I want to talk about agency. I want to make sure I have plenty of time, and I want to see if you have a response to it. Agency, and I wrote this will be going up on my YouTube channel this week. Agency is a term that is used in the context of dogs and refers to the ability of individual dogs to make choices based on their own individual preferences. By giving agency to dogs, dogs are given control over their own environment and in various aspects of their lives. Research has actually found that control is essential for increasing an animal's psychological welfare while making choices allow them to exercise control. What are some examples of ways dogs can be given agency? There are several ways they can do it. Here are some of them. Allowing your dog to choose where they want to sleep. Not necessarily where you want them to sleep, but where they want to sleep. Allowing dogs to choose what toys they want to play with, not the ones you want them to play with. Allowing dogs to sniff around on their walks. I get so crazy when people say to their dogs, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. No, give them the opportunity. That's like your dog searching the web. Give them the opportunity to sniff on their walks, and allowing dogs to decide when interaction should stop, and allowing dogs to engage in cooperative care. That's the bottom line. Listen, I'm always asking Molly, what do you guys want to do? You want to lay on the couch? You want to sleep in the bed? You want to go out here? I'm always asking. Agency, that's so important. So many times we over-control our dogs. We don't give them the opportunity to make decisions for themselves. And I think that's really, really important. It's one of the things I learned years ago, especially working with some search and rescue dogs. Don't judge what you want to judge. Judge what the dog wants you to do. And very often, it makes all the difference. What agency? Agree or disagree? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. Is it okay to let your dogs make decisions for themselves once in a while? I say go for it. What do you say? 866-870-5752. Now we go to my buddy Daniel in Oxnard. Beautiful Oxnard. Hey, Daniel, welcome to the show.
Yes, Warren. Well, I just want to say I'm a disabled vet.
God bless you.
And I have two beautiful cats, and they made my life different.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said I'm a disabled vet, but
first
I have two beautiful cats.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. Bless you for your service, Daniel. I know we just passed Veterans Day last week, but every day should be a thank a Veterans Day. That's number one. Number two, your cats mean a lot to you. I mean, did they give you the reason to get up every day, Daniel?
Yes. They made my life better.
God bless you, Daniel. Daniel, can I ask how old you are?
I'm 65.
65?
Yeah.
God bless you. Listen, Daniel, again, thank you for your service. Give those cats a big hug, and I'm going to put you on. Give those cats a big hug and a kiss from me, and I'm going to send you. I know you don't want a gift, but I'm sending you a gift anyway. I am going to send you. What do I want to send you for your cat? I am going to send you. I'm going to send you some all-natural herbal flea spray on its way to you, and I appreciate that phone call. I got a line of two open. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Now, give me a call. The question of the day is pretty simple. When it comes to being affectionate, dogs or cats, which do you think is more affectionate? I'm going to share something with you now that I've not shared before on the show. And again, it's something I'll be putting on my YouTube channel. If you're not following me on YouTube, get to it. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. Fire hydrants. How many people that have dogs, when they go past a fire hydrant, their dog pees on the hydrant? Instinctively, right? It's automatic. I want you to listen to me carefully. I put this together. And you know what? Let me do this. I'm gonna take a break. When I come back, I'll do that, okay? But it's really important because a lot of people misconstrue what fire hydrants are all about. They laugh about it, and the dog's crazy. And I've talked about this before. The worst thing you can do is, in front of me, is when your dog is lifting his leg on a fire hydrant, is pulling him away, saying, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I always joke that I want to be behind that man when he's at a urinal in a men's room, saying, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. See how that guy feels. But it's so true that it's a fire hydrant's a lot more than you think it is. So we're going to talk about that, why fire hydrants are so interesting for dogs, and they're a lot more interesting than you think. So that's coming up as well. But also coming up on the show is I have had it with people saying to me that dogs are smarter than cats, dogs are more affectionate than cats, cats don't understand this, cats don't understand that, cats can't be trained. Come on, cat people, help me out here. How many people have cats at home that sit and watch TV with them? How many people have cats at home that share their meal with them? How many people have cats at home that sleep with them? So why is there such an anti-cat socialization people out there saying this? It's totally not true. Now, I've had as many as 30 cats, or a little more, 30 cats at one time, and about the same number of dogs at the same time. Were my dogs as affectionate as my cats? Were my cats as affectionate as dogs? Some dogs are more affectionate than other dogs. Some cats are more affectionate than other cats. But in terms of equality, I say I've had just as many affectionate cats as I've had affectionate dogs. Throw in an affectionate pig and a chicken, and you got my background. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me take a break. When we come back, we're going to go to KC in Hollywood, who has a dog and needs some advice. So we'll get to your call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-57. Great time to give me a call. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA. Just a reminder that the Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement for your dogs, check them out at Amazon. And if you order at Walmart.com before December 2nd, if you go to Hugs and Kisses, if you go to Walmart.com, get your Hugs and Kisses there by December 2nd, you'll get 20% off. So don't wait. Go to Walmart.com. They are available at Amazon, but you get 20% off now if you go to Walmart.com. All right, listen, I want to get to your call. So, Casey, I'll get to you in a second, I promise. Guy, I'm going to get to you. Lily, I'm going to get to you. But this is something that's been on my mind for a long time because people always joke about fire hydrants and it's stupid and why do dogs do it. So I've written this. I'm going to show it to my people on YouTube. Here it is. It's a page. I've written it. I'm going to post it this week. Let me share this with you. I promise I will get to your calls, Casey, Guy, and Lily. Here's why dogs like fire hydrants. Dogs find urine fascinating. Rather than discarding their urine, dogs love to show it off as if it's something to brag about and be proud of. Just consider that every drop of pee carries pheromones that reveal a dog's sex, reproductive status, age, health, and possibly even what the dog recently ate. I like to compare dog urine to a business card exchange when dogs pee, as if they're leaving a business card teeming with information that's ready to be discovered by other dogs. The fire hydrant's height is perfect for urine marking. Dogs can easily just hike their legs and their scent is positioned right at the nose level of other dogs. For example, consider the fact that odors left on vertical surfaces tend to last longer than those left on horizontal surfaces. Dogs are also fascinated not only by fire hydrants, but by car tires. You ever walk your dog past a car tire and they lift his leg on every car tire? That's because they pee on them, most likely because tires collect a lot of different information. It's like a smorgasbord of scent for your dog. So that's exactly why dogs are so thrilled with fire hydrants. It's really, really important. And by the way, the higher the dog's kick, the more dominant the dog may be. So now you know. I know it's been keeping me up at night. I'm sure it's been keeping you up at night. But now you know why dogs are fascinated by fire hydrants. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let's go to Casey first. Then we got Guy, we got Lily. Hey, Casey, welcome to the show.
Warren, I've missed you. How are you?
I am doing fine. Yeah, I've been here. Where have you been?
I wanted to call in a few times, but you're a busy guy. Your lines get busy. I'm living out by Santa Monica now, and I rescued a new dog, and I have to pivot because he's a Spitz, right? He's a beautiful, like a white, almost. He's not a Pomeranian. He almost looks like a mini husky. Are they called?
Well, Pomeranian comes from the Spitz family. If he's a white one, it's probably the Eskimo Spitz. Then there's another breed called the Finnish Spitz, which is more of a tannish brown color. But great,
he's an Eskimo to be certain. If you look at Eskimo on Google, that looks like my new rescue.
Yeah, great dog.
Yeah, he's behavioral though. He's been rehomed 2 times, and so I'm the third. I think I'm kind of the last stop. So I took him in as a double owner relinquishment, and I've been working with him a lot. He's a beautiful baby. Like he loves his dad. I'll give him that.
So what's the problem
for you? I'm playing fetch with 2 different dogs of different ages, right? So the first rescue, I found her in the desert. She's about 9 years old. She's a terrier, a little bit slower. I love my daughter, but, she's a little clunky on the ground. And then I have the Eskimo now, and he's like a racehorse. He's only 2 years old. So my question for you and for Suzette was, what's your advice in terms of playing fetch with two dogs of two different speeds? They like to play at the same time, but the issue is that the Spitz will actually like run circles around my daughter and take her toys as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I'm throwing two different toys in two different directions now.
I just love the fact that you refer to your dog as your daughter. I love that.
Don't we all?
You made my day. No, listen, I do, but people think I'm crazy. Listen, I have a 13-year-old.
I think I'm crazy too, but I love my kid. What am I?
No,
I love my daughter way more than I love the rest of my human family. Right?
You're preaching to the choir. Here's what you need. You need 5 balls.
Oh, okay.
Throw them all at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, all at the same time.
Okay, yeah, and then they just bring them back, and whoever brings the toy back. Oh, that's really smart.
Let them work.
You right now.
Every once in a while, I come up with a good idea. That's what I would do. You know, as many dogs as I've had at one time, there's never just one toy. Well, Molly and Willie are a little different. I adopt them. They never really played with toys. But when I had as many dogs as I've had at one time, you would go to my backyard and you would literally think that the U.S. Open was played there. Because they're tennis balls. And so, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls at a time. Don't let them work it out on their own. So let me tell you a little bit about the Spitz, though, okay? Living with a Spitz is like owning a Great Dane dressed like a Chihuahua. Okay, they're incredible dogs. They're part, the Spitz family, just amazing, powerful, small, beautiful. Years ago, they were very, very popular, especially on the East Coast. I worked with a lot of the Spitz there, but then also at one point the Finnish Spitz was starting to gain a little popularity. But they're just incredible, incredible dogs. And don't shave her down. A lot of people, because they have long coats, they shave them down. Don't do that. Leave her coat the way it is. There you go. It should be that way.
I love my Spitz's coat. I love his coat. His coat is so big, I actually started taking his collar off in the house because he's got so much fur. It's like I feel bad about putting the collar on him.
Have you heard about a fur-saving collar?
No, sir. I would love to learn about it.
Years ago, I don't know if they still make them either. Instead of a flat collar, which can flatten down a dog's hair, God, now my age is going to come across me. They used to make rolled collars, like rolled leather collars. They're round, so they don't mat down the hair. Go online to Amazon. Look up. I'm curious now if they still make them. Rolled leather or rolled nylon collars. That might be able to help you keep the collar on and the hair in good shape at the same time.
I got to comment on your segment real quick about the pee because I'm fascinated by dog pee as well because my dogs take their pee very, very seriously, and so the Spitz is intact.
All right, stop. Let me just stop you for a second, Alex. I want you to get that as a promo for me. Warren, I'm fascinated by dog pee. I want you to grab that quote for me.
Please do.
Go ahead.
You can rip my audio, sir. Put it out there. I love it.
There you go. Go ahead.
So the dog, So when anything that I put down in the house that's important to Daddy. So like take lifting weights, for example. If I'm lifting weights and I put the weight down on the ground in between sets, the Spitz will run over and urinate on it because he knows it's important to Daddy. So he immediately goes and marks. And he also learned, I thought this would crack you up. So the Spitz will go over to the box fan while I'm working out, and he's learned to urinate into the box fan so it can spray his urine in like the most, the biggest form fashion in the house. So the dog definitely
listen, Casey, I love you, but don't ever invite me to your house when you're working out, okay? I don't want to be.
You, Warren.
Anyway, listen, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold, and we're going to, I'm going to send you some hugs and kisses for your dogs. I appreciate. I
got to comment on your segment real quick about the pee because I'm fascinated by dog pee as well.
That's how fast my engineer Alex is. He already had that. We're going to use that as a promo, Alex. I'm fascinated by dog pee. What other show? You're not going to hear that on Prager's show, right? You're not going to hear that on Elder's show. Or Kurt, you're going to hear it on Warren's show. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Listen, Marianne, Beverly Hills, don't go anywhere, I'll get to you. Lillian Montrose, don't go anywhere, I'll get to you as well. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. November 2024. I've been on the air now. This is my 45th consecutive year on the air. And that's the first time I ever heard. I'm fascinated by dog urine. In all these years, that's the first time I ever heard it. Thank you for that, KC. You made my day. 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. Plenty of time for your calls. And I still want to hear from some people who think that their cats are more affectionate than their dogs, or their dogs are more affectionate than their cats. Got some great stuff to give away. 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back at you. Listen, we have a lot of fun. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. A couple of new things I just wanted to show you that I'm giving away on the show. I'm giving away something called Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's a dental rinse. You just mix it with your dog's water, and it makes your dog a whole lot more kissable. A great product. Check out Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's available at Amazon.com. It can make all the difference in the world. Make your dogs, as I say, a whole lot more kissable. And also something else I'm giving away now is something called calming discs for dogs or cats. They're made by an incredible company called AcornPetProducts.com. They're lavender. They have all kinds of things to help calm your dog or cat down. So check out acornpets.com. That's acornpets.com. And check out Amazon.com for Rosie's Pup Freshy Breath. I'm telling you, your dogs are going to love it because it's going to make them get kissed a whole lot more. Let me get back to the phone lines here. We are going to go to first Lily, and then we have Marianne, we have Marcia, but right now let's go to Lily in Montrose. Hi, Lily. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Lily.
Hello, can you hear me?
Lily,
Hello?
Lily's gone. All right, Lily.
Hello?
Hi, Lily. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Lily, I can. How you doing?
Oh, good. Fine, thank you. I just wanted to say that in my neighborhood, there was a woman who used to walk her dog on a leash, but she also had a little black cat, and the black cat would walk behind her and her dog, and whenever they would stop, the cat would stop and, sit there and lick its paws, and then they would keep walking, and the cat would just follow along right alongside the owner and the dog, and I thought that was just the most amazing thing. I'd never seen anything like that.
Well, let me
also, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, and also when I was a child, I had a calico cat. Her name was Candy, and she was just the most wonderful cat. She would play with me every night. I was about 7 years old, and then we had to move, so unfortunately I had to, place her somewhere because my father had died, but she was just my best companion. And then when I was about 12, I had another cat, and her name was Michelle, and she was just so affectionate, just like Candy, and she would play with me.
It's you, though. It's you, Lily. It's you. It's you. What you put in is what you get out. So if your cats are affectionate, it's because of you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't had any pets since, but I do pet sit my neighbor's dog now. Her name is Ivy. She's a terrier mix with Chihuahua, and I'm her aunt, and my sister is her grandmother. And so we pet sit her when her owner goes away.
That's
and
great.
Ivy sleeps with me. She'll dance. She's just the best little dog ever. And whenever she sees me, she just gets so excited, and she'll just go in circles around
Lily,
the apartment.
You were excited to see your neighbor walk their dog and have their little cat follow them along. Well, let me tell you something that's really going to freak you out, okay? When I lived on Long Island, I'm from New York. I know you would never know that. When I lived on Long Island, okay, at that point, I would take the Buster Brown dog, Tig, an Amstaff Terrier. I would take him for a walk, and at the same time, I would walk my cat, my rescue cat, Mowdy, on a leash and harness. And right behind me was my pet pig named Corky. Corky was only about 6 months old at that point, so he wasn't a real big pig. And where I lived, you were not allowed allowed to have pigs. So it was considered a farm animal. So what I did is when people would stop me, even the local police, and they'd say, well, what is that? And I'd say, it's some rad dog from Poland. And I got away with it for a little while. But after a while, I couldn't even fool them anymore. The pig got to be 900 pounds, and I had to kind of move the pig to a sanctuary that I had in upstate New York. Anyway, yeah, it's incredible, but I see that all the time. I'd rather people spend the time. In fact, I'm looking, Ann Remington just wrote on my YouTube that I love your book about training cats. It helped me train mine to walk on the leash. Thank you, Ann, for that comment. And the story is, yeah, I believe that cats really miss out a little bit because they're not taught to walk on a leash and a harness, but it's not unusual for cats to follow their guardians, and they really have incredible bonds with dogs. Anyway, Lily, I know you don't have a pet right now, so I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you a T-shirt, because listening to you, I think you would wear it proudly, that says, "None of my friends walk upright," on its way to you, and I appreciate that call. 866-870-KARE. We're going to get to you, Marianne, and get to you, Marsh. It's true, though. I mean, can you imagine Long Island, which is for those people who don't know Long Island, it's kind of like a suburb of New York City, and here's this guy, this guy in Oceanside, walking a Staffordshire Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier, a cat on a leash and harness, and a pig on a leash and harness around the neighborhood. The kids love me. I don't know about their parents, but it was an interesting time. By the way, Corky lived for like 13 years, and Corky the pig got to be about 900, 1,100 pounds. She was a star on the Letterman show with me. Yeah, I had Corky on Letterman with me several times. Let me do this. 866-870-KRLA. So if you think you see a cat walking down the street, it's crazy. When you see a pig walking down the street, but then again, my neighbors knew I was absolutely insane before that ever happened. Let me do this. Let me take a break. When we come back, Marianne first, Marcia second. 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. Come on, guys. No one's going to say that cats are as affectionate as dogs, or dogs are as affectionate as cats. Well, I'll say it. What you put in is what you get out. My dogs and cats have always been equally affectionate. What about yours? Give me a call. I'll send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Check out the YouTube channel. I'm sharing a lot of stuff there during the week. So check out youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. Marianne, Marsh, when we get back, you're up. Do have an open line or two. 866-870-5752, 866-870-KRLA. On Warren Eckstein, you're listening to 866-870-5752. I still got some time to answer some questions. Just before I get to you, Marianne and Marcia, let me just share this quickly with you guys. A lot of people ask me, why is pet insurance, is it different for different places? Along with age and location, your dog's breed can significantly impact your pet insurance costs. Certain breeds are more prone to specific health issues, while others may be at higher risk for injuries or have a shorter lifespan. Certain breeds, Bernese Mountain Dogs, for example, cancer, and dogs with hip dysplasia. So something you need to check in. If you're going to get pet insurance, something you might want to check in is what's covered and what they don't cover, and just kind of check it out like you would check out insurance for yourself. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Let me go to Marianne in Beverly Hills first. Hi, Marianne. How are you?
Warren, it's Marion, not Marianne, and it's Marion Zola, whom you
I know you. I miss seeing you. I miss Beverly Hills now that I'm living in Arizona.
I'll come anytime you want. I wanted to just tell your audience how wonderful it is to adopt an older dog. I just adopted 2 months ago a 10-year-old dog. My last dog I adopted when she was 10 and a half. We had a marvelous 5.5 years together, and this dog is just a dream. And, I don't know if people realize, but an older dog not only is very easy because they know the ropes. You don't have to go through the whole puppy thing. But the other thing is, for an older person particularly, it's not a 15-year commitment. And I see very old people adopting a puppy, which is a tragedy because that dog is not going to have that guardian around for 15 years, most likely. And in many cases, they don't
hit the nail right on the head. I'm a firm believer that there are so many great seniors out there, and there are so many great senior pets out there, dog or a cat. And I think that seniors, I prefer that seniors adopt. They can fetch together, if you know what I'm talking about. I like the concept of adopting. I've adopted dogs 13, 14 years old. So I think it's a great idea. And I'm so glad you called and talked about this, because a lot of people don't understand. If you're a senior citizen and you adopt a puppy, what's going to happen to that puppy if, God forbid, you cross the rainbow bridge at that point?
Exactly.
So if you are a senior, though, and you are adopting, whether it be an older dog or whatever, and I prefer an older dog or an older cat, you need to make sure you have a living trust set up. So if, God forbid, something were to happen to you, you know that dog that you've given this love to is not going to wind up going back to a shelter.
Exactly. I just wanted to tell your audience that I'm, all about adoption, and I'm very heartbroken with all the doodles being bred when there are so many dogs being killed every day because there's no room in the shelter.
It's all across the country. I get the same thing about certain breeds on this show, on Radio America, on Armed Forces Radio. It's the same thing. I get so many people want a specific breed when, you know what? This is what I tell people. I have no qualms. I've had shepherds my whole life. But now, as I've gotten older and over the years, as many dogs as I've lived with, you don't fall in love with what the dog looks like. You don't fall in love with how old the dog is. You fall in love with the inside of the dog. Give the dog the opportunity to come inside and show you the inside, and then you'll live with that dog happily ever after. That's at least the way I look at it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Warren. I just
listen. Next time I'm in California, I haven't been there for a long time. I haven't been in LA for a while, but next time I'm back in beautiful Beverly Hills, maybe I'll give you a call and we'll get together and have some coffee. How's that sound?
I would love it. Absolutely love it.
In the meantime, don't go anywhere. Marion, don't go anywhere. I want to put you on hold. I want to send you one of my T-shirts because you deserve it. It says, "None of my friends walk upright." That T-shirt on its way to you, and I appreciate that call. She does a tremendous amount of work. She's in the media field as well. Does a lot of work rescue animals, and we've had coffee and coffee. What did I have? Coffee and a muffin. A muffin top. Coffee and a muffin top. Too much Seinfeld for me. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Let me do something, take a quick break. When we come back, Marshall will try to get to you, 866-870-5752. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why dogs scratch. Take a couple of more calls. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. On The Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. But that's going to be quite a cruise. My friend Larry Elder, Joe Piscopo, Dennis Prager. Should be quite interesting. Let me do this. Before we get to the phones, I want to share this with you. One of the most common questions I get is about dogs that are constantly scratching. So listen to me carefully. Skin itchiness is a very common complaint in dogs. There are several conditions that can lead to skin itchiness, like dry skin, skin allergy, skin infection, parasites, even some metabolic disorders like liver disease or some form of tumors can produce skin itchiness. Many dogs can inflict self-trauma by scratching, biting, or rubbing the skin, so it's important to act quickly. In most cases, a quick trip to the vet is important. Now, you've been hearing me talk about this company called Acorn Pet Products. What an amazing company this is. They're not sponsors on the show, but I want you to go to their website, acornpets.com, acornpetproducts.com. Not only do they have the calming collars, but they have specialized vests that your dog could wear. So if you have one of those dogs that's constantly scratching or going through a situation where he's got to be refrained from doing that, I want you to go to their website. Some of the most amazing products I've ever seen, specifically for calming dogs and also for situations where the dogs have to be prevented from hurting themselves. So I want you to check out acornpets.com. I think you'll really appreciate what they do over there. Again, I want you to remember you can always follow me on my YouTube channel. I share a lot of information on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Now, here's the deal. A lot of the stuff on YouTube, like the radio, this show will be on YouTube live. You can listen to it. You can listen to archive shows on YouTube. I do a lot of videos there as well. Some are long version videos. Some are short version videos. There's even videos of some of the TV I've done over the years. I think there's videos of when I was on the Mickey Mouse Club. I think there's videos of Our Magazine and Regis and Kathy Lee, the Today Show, the Letterman Show, the Tonight Show. The reason I want you to go to YouTube, though, is not for that. It's for the articles. There's so many articles there. And very often I'll get questions and say, Warren, I can't wait till Saturday because I want to ask that question. And you call in and the phones are jammed up like they always are. So I encourage you to go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. It is absolutely free. And the other thing you might want to check out is the website, thepetshow.com. You may find out more about me than I'd want you to know, but there's also tremendous number of articles, videos, and archive shows there as well. And a lot of great information that I've shared will be there also at the same time. So youtube.com/Warren Eckstein or thepetshow.com. And one more thing. I'm doing a lot of posting on Facebook, and I have several different Facebook pages, and they drive me crazy. The page that I post most of my stuff on now is I'll share it with the other pages, but if you want to be my friend right now, it's facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. Facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. I'm not going to be able to get to your call, Marsha, but if you think, I know we've spoken 100 times in La Canada, as I used to say, you have a 20-year-old rescue dog that may have fleas. You want to be really careful about any medications. Check with your veterinarian carefully. There's some all-natural herbal flea products on the market as well. But with a 20-year-old dog, I would refer to your veterinarian to find out specifically what he recommends. Just a reminder that when I get off the air here in exactly 1 minute, you can start calling my national and Canadian show. That phone number is 877-725-8255. Same type of show. Give away the same prizes. Plenty of time for your calls. Actually, you'll be my first callers there, so check out 877-725-8255. Let it ring for a while. It's got to go to Washington, D.C. They will pick it up. Again, 877-725-8255. Till next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, a special one right between the ears for me, Warren Eckstein, and thank you once again for listening to The Pet Show.